Hey guys, so I wanted to read a comment from a couple days ago and respond to it to the best of my ability from the world is your reflection, as within, so without. Basically, it's all coming from you, that type of perspective. So this is just a perspective. It's not some final answer. Please don't ever take anything I say that way. I want to just be clear about that. So the comment is, hey Maggie, lately I've been paying more attention to current events and the grievances of those close to me. I found myself become more saddened because it feels like the world operates on greed and innocent people are suffering because of it. How can one maintain faith in the goodness of others and in the fairness of the universe when there is so much injustice going on? Okay, so I want to answer this. It's actually very timely, obviously. And I wanted to point out the first thing that comes to mind is that, if you need the goodness of others to be apparent and the fairness of the universe to be apparent in order to maintain equilibrium, you're basing your state, the place that you're occupying mentally, on what's happening in the 3D external world. And that is kind of the whole core foundational shift that you have to make. You don't have to, but it's kind of, in order to start to grasp all these concepts in the manifestation realm, sort of the core foundational one that you need to understand and embrace is that your state does not have to be dependent on the outer 3D world. And in fact, the whole idea is to start moving away from that. So I think the easiest way to move away from that is to shut it all out. Stop talking to people about it. For sure, do not involve yourself on Reddit. Do not involve yourself on Reddit. Reddit right now is the most insane thing I've ever seen. If you're on there for any part of any day, it's like you're feeding yourself toxic garbage. There's just no other way to put it. I get that there are lots of opinions on every topic, but what's going on there is insane. And so turn that off for sure. Turn off anything having to do with the mainstream media. If the money-driven agenda that is if that's not obvious, let me illuminate it for you. There's nothing of value being presented on any cable news channel right now. Anyone, regardless of political affiliation, turn that stuff off, okay? And unfortunately, it sounds like you are exposed to other people that are feeling very fearful or angry, and that's almost certainly not because of something that is happening in their immediate environment. It's coming also from these same news sources. And of course, there are a million other examples. If you're not an American, you could be talking about any number of other things that are going on, things that are always going on, that have been going on since the dawn of civilization. I think the problem is that people don't feel like they can afford to turn their focus and attention away from this stuff. They feel either like they have an obligation, like they're doing something wrong if they don't feed a bunch of their energy into this, or feeling like they're going to miss something that they need to know in order to protect themselves. This is all fear-based stuff. Everything going on right now is coming from all of the lower emotions, everything fear-based. And the best thing I can tell you is that if you believe that you're creating this experience for yourself and what you're seeing and experiencing is coming from where you're tuned, you need to just understand that all the focus you're putting on these upsetting things and the judgments that you're making on them are tuning you to a specific frequency and a specific emotional experience. And there's just no way out of that other than stopping it. You have to just turn it off. Turn your attention somewhere else. Refuse to engage in that kind of stuff. Just stop. You're basically poisoning yourself every single day that you involve yourself in all this stuff. And, just to sort of go off on a tangent a little bit related to something else, I'm going to make a video soon. Somebody asked me for an update on the bust and loose thing that I said around my birthday last year. So it's been about, I don't know, 4 months or something. I was like, I'm going to commit to doing the bust and loose process, which I will explain. I'm not going to explain it here, but it's basically just removing your attention from the world. Basically not giving the world any value. Just realizing constantly that you've created it all and that it's made up and that there's just nothing to be upset about. And I said I was going to do that. And part of the reason that I was even thinking that was because U.S. politics had just reached a fever pitch like nothing I've ever seen in my lifetime before. Last year, obviously, everybody knows that. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. But I was thinking that I really wanted to bust out of that. And I realized really quickly when I started to do that I had no desire to do that. I was loving the horror show, just the roller coaster. I was doing exactly what I wanted to be doing, and including all the negative emotions, I realized, oops, no, this isn't, I don't want to check out of this. I want to experience this. So I'm not going to bust loose from it. I'm going to stay right in it. And I did. And I've moved out of that place now. And I've really been thinking more. I was saying to my friend Stacy, I'm going to refer to my friend Stacy as ACIM Stacy because she's my A Course in Miracles friend. But I was telling ACIM Stacy that yesterday I sent her a text and I just said, I really think ACIM is the only way out. That is all. We had like a 2-sentence conversation, but I was just like, I really think it's the only way out of this. I think you need to discern whether or not you are enjoying this. It sounds like from this comment that you're very distressed, but you're choosing to participate in this. And I think you can just ask yourself, do I want to keep doing this or do I not want to keep doing this? Because your intellectual mind or something can be like, no, I need to stop doing this. This is too distressing. What am I supposed to do? But really you can be loving it underneath that. So I think you need to figure out if you're actually enjoying the drama. Just admit it. You don't have to tell me. You don't have to admit it to anybody. You can pretend like you're not if that makes you feel bad about yourself or something. But at least be honest with yourself about your experience with this. Like, is this something you want to check out of or not? If you do want to check out of it because it is really that distressing, then do it and justify it to yourself in a few ways. First of all, to get past the idea that you're going to miss something or that, you need to be on high alert. Understand that if you need to do something, you're going to know it. You're not going to get caught by surprise by not constantly feeding yourself into this pendulum, all your energy into this pendulum. Okay. If you are needed, you will know it, and you can intend for that and just assume that is the case. I'm not going to focus on all of this stuff constantly because it's distressing. If I need to do something, if I need to know something, I will know that thing, and I will know that, I need to do something. So I'm not going to miss it. I don't have to constantly check in. I don't have to constantly be involved. I don't have to be up to date on every little drama and all of the twisted opinions about what's happened. I can check out of this. So that's the first way to get past it. And the second thing I think you need to understand is that there is nothing better that you can do for yourself and other people than to exist on a higher frequency, than to exist in a better place. We don't really know how this all works. We don't really know how jumping from timeline to timeline works. We don't really understand any of this, but I think it stands to reason that you raise your frequency and tune to a different channel. It's entirely possible you are tuning to an entirely different reality where you and everybody in that reality are experiencing something different than you and everybody in the reality that you left behind. If that makes sense. The only sane solution is to move yourself out of this frequency. And you're not going to do that by continuing to do what you've been doing, to put it in the simplest way possible. You're either going to have a different attitude about the stuff that you are seeing, or you're going to have to move your attention somewhere else and bring yourself up and out of it. And just, the bottom line for me is you can't base your own peace and serenity and hope for the future and everything else that people like to feel on what other people out there are doing. You know what I mean? This is kind of all about stepping into your role as the creator and assuming your role as the creator. That's what assumption is in the law of assumption. Assume your role as the creator. Step into it. Take it on. Put it on you. Start to be that thing. And that doesn't mean that you're creating from your personal perspective all the wars and stuff and all the atrocities and all of the unfairness and all the fear that people are feeling. That doesn't mean that you're personally responsible for that or that you're personally going to change that. Maybe you will, but I'm just saying, don't take it to mean that necessarily. Just think of it as the creator of your personal world, assuming that role, your personal experience. Two people experiencing the exact same outer circumstances can have a wildly different perception of it and experience of it. And if you can accept that, I think you're one step closer to understanding how you are the creator of everything. It's funny because I heard my whole life about how your attitude matters and how the way you see things matters. And I always just took it as a cop-out. I always took it as a consolation prize for not getting what you really want. It couldn't be more the opposite. You could get every single thing you want and still be a totally miserable person. And what good is any of it? It truly, all of the value is in how you are experiencing everything. And you have all the control over that, which is really exciting. And all the control over that produces a wildly different outer 3D experience. Eventually, it has to catch up. So this feels really disjointed, but these aren't easy questions to answer, and there's a lot of stuff that goes into them. So that's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. So I don't know. I hope that helped anybody with anything. Let me see if I can put that into a more bullet-pointed response. First of all, understand that you cannot rely on the outer world for your inner state. That's the first answer to this. Second, you have to turn your focus away from constantly noticing things that bother you. There are a million things out here you could be noticing. You could be noticing all the good things that people are doing. You could be not thinking about other people at all. You could be focused right in your little world yourself with, I don't know, maybe the people that are in there are preventing that from happening. But, there are a lot of different places you could be putting your focus, and you're putting your focus on this thing that is sort of growing this negative thing in your world. It's making you sad. I mean, that right there is an indicator that you're focusing on something that is false, basically. You're focusing on something that is in the lower realms, not something that you want to recreate more of. So I would put all your attention on something positive. Do something positive. That'll help also. Helping other people or doing something charitable or giving to somebody really, really helps. So I hope that helped at all. Have a great day.